Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa and you are looking at Overbuff, guys. Now, this is a website which shows you hero usage rates. It shows you your stats. You can see I'm logged in here as Stylosa. This is an awesome website. However, bit of a disclaimer to begin with. This only shows the stats of people who have effectively searched for their profile, unless it's been updated since, well, the beginning of time, because that's how this works. It's how it's always worked. So what this means is it's not the entire population, but what we can do is look at certain ranks and get certain good bits of information. Like, we would know most people in Grandmaster, most people in Master, and probably Diamond will use this website. So the stats here will be quite accurate. The other ranks, maybe not so much, but we'll still get a window into what's going on at those levels. Now, what has prompted this video? Well, there is a post on the competitive Reddit. Go and check that out if you haven't, where they're talking about this and the hero selection rate, because there's been a lot of discussion in the community where high-profile streamers have stopped playing Overwatch. They just play other stuff. What is going on and what is happening? Well, in this video, we're going to discuss the meta and the way the game is developing. So, let's get stuck into this. So, let's take a look at the Grandmaster meta. Now, Grandmaster, I must stress, is 0.1% of the population. This is such a small amount of players that it doesn't really affect you watching this video. It doesn't really affect me, to be honest. However, we know that watching Grandmaster games and watching Grandmaster meta, you can derive the meta or the way the game is going. And why would a lot of these players be unhappy? Well, let's take a look at this. So the top 5 heroes, or 6 heroes we've got here: Reinhardt, Mercy, Zenyatta, Zarya, Hanzo, Widowmaker. Those are the top heroes that have been playing right now in Grandmaster. Now, why is this the case? Well, Widowmaker is in because she is one of the best DPS in the game. Because there's hardly any dive comp being played, this means you can't really reach the Widow. So if the enemy doesn't have a Winston or a Diva, Widow can just do what she likes. She sits there in the back. She's very safe. She fires. She gets tons of kills. That's essentially what happens. That's why she's here. Also, as skill levels increase, as people get better at the game, Widowmaker does kind of make more sense. And she is super powerful, don't get me wrong. Next up, we've got Hanzo. Now, Hanzo is obviously really powerful because of his rework. And Hanzo works really well with Zarya. That's why we see Zarya a lot here in this meta. Because they just combo and win. And now this is the problem a lot of these high-ranked players have got, where essentially the games just come down to who can charge the Grav Hanzo combo the fastest and who can use it the best. And then you just win the fight, and then you win the team fight, and then you win the next team fight, and then you win the game. And that is not great, right? That's actually kind of boring to play through. That's why Zarya is there. Also, Zarya works really well with Reinhardt as well, which is awesome. Zenyatta and Mercy. Now, there's a hero missing from this, isn't there? So if we scroll down, we can see Brigitta here at a 3.9% pick rate. Now, she is, maybe you would have thought she'd be a little bit higher, but as you can see, compared to Mercy and Zen, they absolutely annihilate her. They're literally in every game. Now, remember, there's like 6 players on a team, so pick rate, it's never going to be 100% because not everybody can pick the hero, right? That's essentially how this works. So these pick rates of like 12% are insane. That means they're in every game on both sides, just all of the time. So Brigitta's not used that much, which is a little bit of a surprise, although she still is quite powerful. Right, and so Mercy and Zen, this is another thing. Overwatch is going into an era of heroes that are just going to be played, I think, forever, unless they're drastically changed. These are 2 of those heroes. Now, I think Mercy's actually in a really good place right now. The problem with Mercy is she's very effective. But you have to be a good player to be effective with her. But she just outclasses Moira and Anna at this level of the game because she gives you a lot of you can res, basically, which means that if the enemy has got a Widowmaker, which they probably have, and they kill your Widowmaker or kill somebody on your team, your Mercy can fly in and res them, and you just carry on the fight. That's really powerful. Zen, because he does tons of damage, and he has Discord Orb, which is an amazing ability. I think for Zen to actually see a reduction in his playtime, he'd have to be heavily nerfed, which does worry me, because Zen, again, is one of these heroes I think's in a fairly decent position, but their impact on the meta is kind of like crazy. Reinhardt as well. Now, Reinhardt is in the game because Winston is screwed right now. Winston just gets no love. Because Brigitta wrecks him, and it's just not a great place for Winston to be. Hanzo annihilates him. Widowmaker does tons of damage to him. It's just not great, right? And Reinhardt's also really strong against Winston. But also Reinhardt's countered by Brigitta. But as we see here, Brigitta's not used that much. So that's what's going on in Grandmaster. You can see games are literally Reinhardt, Mercy, Zen, Zarya, Hanzo, Widow. That's it. And it's whoever presses Q the fastest wins, which is not a great meta to play. Now, if we jump to Master, you'll see the same story. There is a notable sort of interchangeability, I guess, between Widow and Genji. They're sort of really close. They can, you'll see a Genji, you'll see a Widow, but the top 4 remains the same, or the top 5, there's no change there. And that's to be expected, because Master is generally very similar to Grandmaster, as you can see. If I just flip through them now, you can see it's very, very similar. I mean, look, the Genji pit rate is kind of the same in Master as it is in Grandmaster. Anyway, let's go to Diamond. And this is the thing which got me. Diamond is basically the same again. The only thing which is missing here is Widow. Now, the reason Widow is missing is because I think Diamond players don't have the aim. A Master or a Grandmaster player can pick up the Widow and probably do work with the Widow, whereas a Diamond player won't. And this is what's going to happen in this video as we go on. As we go through the tiers, you will notice that Widowmaker usage drops lower and lower because she's difficult to use and she's not very forgiving, whereas other DPS can be quite forgiving, like a Genji or a Soldier or a Tracer or something like that. Also to note as well that Grandmaster tier and Master tier, you would have seen Tracer used a hell of a lot, but Tracer's like nigh on, like, you just don't see Tracer anymore. She's not even there. She's just been deleted, which is kind of sad. Anyway, so yeah, Diamond is pretty much the same type of story, although we see Moira and Anna creeping up with Brigitta and Widow. Like, these have all kind of got the same pick rates. You'll still notice extremely high pick rates with Zarya, Mercy, Reinhardt, and Zen. And I suppose you could say Hanzo at 2% higher than Genji at the next level. Anyway, let's go to Plat. Now, you'll see things are starting to change here. Now, remember what I said about Widow. Like, we're not even seeing Widow here in any of these heroes here at the top. We're seeing Moira go higher. Zen drop down a little bit. Anna sort of there. It's interesting to me. I mean, obviously, you notice Mercy is still heavily played. Like, Mercy and Reinhardt are really the winners of this meta. Like, look as we go through this. Look at them. Both of them are like the most played heroes, which, if you enjoy playing those heroes, is good. The problem is when you look at the wider meta of the game and the way it's going and the enjoyability of the game, it's maybe not the best because it is kind of frustrating, especially with the Hanzo Grav stuff going on. Anyway, let's go down into Gold. And Gold, again, sort of tells an interesting story here. You see sort of less DPS heroes being picked up here. You see like Diva makes an appearance, Moira, Reinhardt, Mercy. Again, it's just what you'd expect, I suppose. And then we drop down into Silver. And remember, these ranks... not everybody in Silver or Gold or Platinum or Bronze, and even in Diamond really, are going to be using this website, and probably in Master. I'd expect a lot of Grandmaster players use Overbuff because they want to see more detailed stats on their profile. And remember, you have to actually search for yourself on this website to be added into the data. So that's pretty cool. And Bronze is just like, yeah. So what does all this mean? What does it mean for you as a player? Now, when I look through Overanalyze, because remember, this is the only reference point I personally have for games which are not in Master or Grandmaster. So when I'm looking at Platinum games, Diamond games not so much, but Platinum, Gold, Silver and Bronze, you do see a very large variation in team comps. It isn't just Reinhardt, Zen, Hanzo, Zarya, Widow, and that kind of comp. It's not just that, and Mercy. You do see a lot of variation, so you can argue that actually the game is still kind of okay. But I think what the point of this video is talking about the ultra high end of the meta and how that actually distills down to us playing the game. And I think when players become like when Overwatch, the meta of Overwatch changes quite a lot, and when it does change, it can cause a positive or negative effect in or like a positive or negative swing in a really big way. Like, it either goes, the meta becomes varied, people are using a lot of different heroes. I mean, typically what I find is when there is a major update to the game, there's a new hero, there's a lot of hero updates, you see for that first week, the game is really enjoyable because everybody's playing different stuff, people are trying to work things out. But then beyond that, as soon as the meta is established, people just run the meta over and over again. Now, in the past, we had the Mercy meta, which wasn't great. We had the, Dive was everywhere, which, if you like Dive, was okay, I guess. There were periods where Tracer, for most of the game, was really powerful. There's all these, things and metas that go on with Overwatch. And I don't really honestly think to myself that there was a meta which just was great. You know what I mean? There are metas that have been better than other metas, don't get me wrong, but there's never been a point where I'm like, wow, this is awesome. I can't wait to get into the next game. What will happen? Will we all flex to see what the enemy team are doing? Oh yeah, will we count them? Generally no. It's just... Now, there might be one saving grace with all of this stuff, and that is the inclusion of the LFG system. Now, hopefully we get more details on this fairly soon, but this could potentially help problems with team comps. How extensively this system gets used, we don't know. I can tell you right now, in its current version, I will use this system more than just playing competitive, because I am getting really frustrated with Overwatch competitive yet again, because I'm going into games, having an awesome match, and the next match just turns into like, oh no, everyone's just trolls, or that nobody wants to play together, and then I just end up loading something like Realm Royale, and like, wow, I've spent 4 hours playing this game, it's so exciting, I should be streaming. That's what I think to myself, ladies and gentlemen, and maybe that's not the best way to think, is it? Especially not for Overwatch, you know, because it should be making us want to play this game. I thought this would be an interesting video to put together anyway. I want you guys to let me know what you think about the meta, what it means for you. Do you care what's going on at Grandmaster? Do you care what's going on at Master? Do you care what's going on at Overwatch League level? Do you care what's happening to you? I suppose you do. What's the meta like for you guys? Is it a lot of Mercy? Is it a lot of like Reinhardt, Mercy, Zen, Zarya, Hanzo, Widow? Maybe not Widow so much if you're not in Grandmaster or Master, but in the other ranks, probably is. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylosa and this is Unit Lost. If you enjoyed the video, then like the video. Remember, you can subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, and I will catch you lovely lot on the next one. Toodaloo.